Hi, I'm Bob, and welcome to Between the Sheets, where we look at Microsoft Excel and related technologies. An easily overlooked part of Excel worksheets is headers and footers. Very simple thing, but so easy to forget. They're visible only on printed sheets and PDFs, and we create them in Page Layout view. There is a very old dialog box you can use, but it's not intuitive, so I'm going to ignore it. So let's take a look and see how it works. Most of the time, you're in normal view, and this should look familiar as normal view. But as I said, we need to be in Page Layout view to put in headers and footers. So you see in the lower right corner, now this is showing us normal view. I'm going to click the middle button to go to Page Layout. And you see that shows us the top and bottom and left and right margins. And here it says Add Header. When I roll the mouse pointer over it, you see I've got these three sections. Everything in the left section gets left justified. Everything in the center section gets center justified, and you get the rest of the idea. And it works the same way in the footer as well as the header. So let me click over there in the left section of the header. Now it should, but not necessarily, put us in that header and footer tab. See, that's a context-sensitive tab on the ribbon bar, and we've got all this great stuff that we can put in headers and footers. So I'm going to start off by putting in the file name. Now I could put in the file name by itself, but if I want the path so I know where it is on the machine, I'm going to choose File Path. And you see that gives me the path and the file name. And to view it, I just click on the sheet itself. And there it shows me the path. I'm running Windows on my Mac, so the path looks a little weird. Let's go over to the right section, and I could put in the date or the time. Let me put in the date. And it puts in that code, click off there, and it tells me the date. Now to get to the footer, I could scroll down, or I could just click this Go to Footer. Notice it's only going to be available, the Go to Footer is only going to be available when you are in the header on that header and footer tab. So here, I could now go back to the header since I'm in the footer. So let's go in the left section, and you see the Sheet tab is Total Sales. If I want to put that in that little box there, I'm going to click over here on Sheet Name, scroll up a little bit, if I can, and there it tells me what the sheet name is. So if that changes, or if the file name changes, those will change in the header and footer. Let's go in the center section. I want to put in how many pages. So here I've got to go back to that header and footer tab. So I'm going to put in the current page number of the total page number. And see we have that code, and I'll click there. It tells me it's page 1 of 5. And what I want to do in the lower right section, lower right corner, is put in, let's say, a logo. So I'm going to click in there. And you see we've got this item for picture. Now, Format Picture is grayed out because we don't have a picture to format, right? So I'm going to click Picture, and it throws this little dialog box. I'm going to say, let's grab it from a file. There it is. There's my logo. And I just named it at 600 by 600. Which you may know is going to be kind of big. So when I click out here, oh my goodness, look at that. It takes up the entire sheet. That's no good. I need to make that smaller. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click down in that section, make sure that's selected. It is. Go back to header and footer, and now Format Picture is available. So I'm going to click that. And in this dialog box, now I could dial in the exact height and the exact width, but I think it's going to be easier to do it by percentage. And you see it says lock aspect ratio, so I could set the height and the width will come with it. So I'm going to set that height to 20%. When I tab out, it makes the width also 20%. Click OK, and now that looks a lot better. So I'm going to click there. And let me zoom back out to the full page, maybe a little more. And now we can see there's the path, and there's the date, and there's all this stuff. Let's go to Print Preview. So I'm going to press Control P in Windows or Command P on the Mac. And lo and behold, it shows me. Again, there's the header stuff. There's the footer stuff. This is page 1 of 5, right, which matches that. And as I go to other pages, everything in the header, everything in the footer stays where it belongs. For some people, their only exposure to your Excel sheets is what you print. Headers and footers makes things easier for them. So be sure to check out my course, Excel 365 for Busy People, and live custom training at computertraining.live. Until next time, my name is Bob, and this has been Between the Sheets.